California Governor Gavin Newsom is expected to issue an executive order today for officials across his state to begin dismantling thousands of homeless encampments. The move was made possible by a recent Supreme Court ruling that gives governments the authority to remove people from these homeless camps. The issue impacts California more than any other state. It's because it had more than 180,000 homeless people last year.
No.
The effort will require that state agencies not just clear out the encampments, but also work with local governments to find housing for people who need it.
Did you hear what he just said? He said California had more homeless than any other state because they had 180,000. No, you're just restating it with the number. It's not because they had 180,000. They had the most, which number 180,000, because unbiased journalism, because of policy directly. Gavin Newsom. So.
Spare no expense.
He just signed, and here's the thing, they just want to gaslight you on everything. It's just so funny now that they're actually trying to say fewer border crossings than ever. They're using that as a talking point. Well, not to be outdone, Gavin Newsom, he signed an executive order right now, and he tries to act as though Donald Trump is intimidated by this because Donald Trump is pro-illegal immigration, although last campaign he was racist because he was anti-illegal immigration. Sure. Yeah. This new executive order, it requires authorities to dismantle homeless camps across the great Newsom-run state of California.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is expected to issue an executive order today for officials across his state to begin dismantling thousands of homeless encampments. The move was made possible by a recent Supreme Court ruling that gives governments the authority to remove people from these homeless camps. The issue impacts California more than any other state. It's because it had more than 180,000 homeless people last year.
No.
The effort will require that state agencies not just clear out the encampments, but also work with local governments to find housing for people who need it.
Did you hear what he just said? He said California had more homeless than any other state because they had 180,000. No, you're just restating it with the number. It's not because they had 180,000. They had the most, which number 180,000, because unbiased journalism, because of policy directly. The good thing is we have petri dishes. We have California, we have Florida, we have Texas, we have states with comparable populations, with, by the way, the same type of different, on average, to be clear, diverse makeup as far as races, creeds, sexes, religions. We have Florida, we have Texas, we have California. We also have many other states. Nowhere near the level of California. And it's not because of 180,000. 180,000 is the result. Give us the because. Of course, you can't do that. You can't do that because the actual because is very damning on Gavin Newsom, and you want to carry his water and give him credit for his 2028 run.
Absolutely. And I think listen to that last part, and the administrator, the municipalities have to find housing for people who need it. Oh, how are you going to do that?
Yeah,
I think that's a fine point.
Well, actually, they're sending them all to a quiet, secluded campground for the rest of the summer.
Oh, really?
So yes, that is. You know what? That's a good switcheroo.
I know that camp. I think.
Yeah, he said yuck.
The original villain was the mom. So let's go through some of these claims that he's going to be making, because now it's such a losing issue for the left. And you heard me tell you this about a year ago. They're going to have to shift. It is a losing issue for the left. Period. First Amendment is a losing issue. Second Amendment is a losing issue. And illegal immigration is a losing issue for the left. That's also why you're seeing a lot of black voters peel off, which we'll get to in Kamala Harris in the new Black Like Me segment, because she has lost a record number of blacks, according to modern polling, which is surprising because, she's a 16th black. So let's go through the claims here. The claim, and all references available, link in the description, loudearthcutter.com, that California can now clear encampments because the Supreme Court finally, they couldn't do this before, but now because of the Supreme Court, they finally can.
One of the big issues, though, that has been an impediment was the courts. In the past, the courts have denied the ability for local government, including the state, to clean up many of these encampments. Today, I announced an executive order to move the process forward. We're done. It's time to move with urgency at the local level to clean up these sites, to focus on public health.
Look, he's carrying a trash bag.
There are no longer any excuses.
The only jobs that guy created was for the cameraman to film him with a pokey stick.
That was a
Get me here.
That was a steady
dragged his
camera.
bag.
That was one position. There was no one working.
Get me here. Don't show my stylist. Get me here. And by the way, the Supreme Court, just to be clear, is filled by Donald Trump.
Yes.
So either way, in trying to attack Donald Trump, he ends up praising Donald Trump, even though it's a lie because it has nothing to do with Supreme Court.
Yeah, you know what happened here? So he lambasts the Supreme Court over Roe v. Wade, and then he goes, Donald Trump is packing the Supreme Court. Do you know what the 3 justices that voted against this were? The thing that gave him the authority? They were the liberal justices.
Right.
The people that you're supposed to love voted against this. You should get down on your knees and
Yes.
thank Donald Trump that you have the ability to clean up these encampments.
Which brings us, versus his claim, to the truth. We'll start with you. Newsom has always had the authority to clean up these homeless camps. Now, I will present, just give me a minute. Stay with me. New people who are watching leftists, I am making the statement definitively. He always had the power, Gavin Newsom, the governor, to clean up homeless camps. I would present to you the evidence that he did it, that he said he did it, but he only did it intermittently for world leaders and elites and not for the people. So let's go back to November. San Francisco, he cleaned up the encampments when Xi Jinping was visiting. Here, let's show a before and after. This happened right there in San Francisco. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
You send a commie dictator over, all of a sudden we're going to start lining up the Lime scooters.
They even swapped out the cop car.
Yes.
There you go. Put a nicer car in the picture.
They went streets full of shit to Full House real quick.
Yes. And I know what you're thinking. Hold on a second. Correlation does not equal causation. I know, I took Humanities 101. However, we know that he did it exclusively for Xi Jinping, communist leader, because he said that's the only reason he did it.
Folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
Twice.
I want that video on a loop.
And now he's saying, thanks to the Supreme Court, I can do what I did for Xi Jinping.
But I still hate Donald Trump.
Yes.
And we need to pack the Supreme Court with more liberal justices who wouldn't have let me do this.
Also, by the way, there are municipalities that have taken it upon themselves, like Newport.
Yeah.
They've long had these laws getting rid of homeless encampments.
Yeah, no
so
longer
this
known for
idea that no one had the authority until the Supreme Court, which, thanks to Donald Trump, at least has been supporting the idea that you have the authority to do it. He's already used it. He just won't use it for his people. Have you ever seen a more clear example of elitism? Newsom will clean it up. And by the way, we're not just talking about dirt. We're talking about crime. We're talking about drugs in the street. We're talking about safety issues for your children. He will clean it up for the facade to try and put this veneer over his failing state when a communist dictator, and that's what it is, Xi Jinping, let's be clear, and I did say it deliberately, not he or she. He will do it for that thing, but he won't do it for his own people who have been crying out for help for his entire tenure. These people don't care about you.
No. And I guarantee you, watch the news out of California. Once they start doing this, they're going to say, by the way, we need more money now so that we can put these people in different homes, places. We're going to have to build some new stuff. This is just one more power grab.
I thought you were going to say camps.
No, I wouldn't say camps. I mean,
They would.
They've tried. That didn't work.
Just a few quick numbers for you. 1/3 of all homeless people in this country live in California. And homelessness is up about 40% in the last 5 years.
Under Newsom.
How long has he been governor?
5-ish years. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
A little longer.
So there you go. If you want to build a case that Gavin Newsom has made California better off, please comment below. If you believe that homelessness is not a problem, please comment below. And if you believe that Gavin Newsom is just the guy for the job, well, don't comment below because
Just
I already gave you 2 opportunities. And now look, I just don't want. Come on, don't be selfish. Leave some comment room for the rest of it.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.